Hello there and welcome to Spartan Sports Report. I'm Justin Allegri. San Jose State football 2-6 following a 42-3 loss on the road last Friday against San Diego State. We'll recap that game with San Jose State head coach Ron Carriger, and we'll preview the upcoming game here inside CEFCU Stadium against UNLV. Plus, with basketball season just around the corner, the women's basketball preview this week, followed by the men next week. So let's go back to the highlights against San Diego State. Spartans on the road to take on San Diego State, the West Division leading Aztecs, who had won 13 straight Mountain West Conference games. Spartans got the ball first, but were met with tough defense early. Tim Crawley receives the touch pass from Potter, but can't find the edge, forcing a punt. So the Aztecs had it, but they couldn't get NCAA leading rusher Donnell Pumphrey going early. Here he's hit for no gain. The Aztecs did use tight end David Wells 4 times in the drive and used Pumphrey as a decoy for him. The play action, he is open in the end zone for the touchdown, making it 7-0 San Diego State. They would add on to that lead at the start of the second quarter when Rashad Penny catches a 35-yard pass downfield, and he's down at the 3-yard line, and he would punch it in just after that. So up 2 scores were the Aztecs. Spartans really couldn't muster any offense. 3 punts in the first quarter and only 1 first down. Here Potter is sacked for another 3 and out. So the Aztecs got the ball with good field position, and they extended their lead just 3 plays later. Pumphrey, a run and a score from 27 yards out using his speed to get down the sideline, and they were up 21-0. Spartans did have the game's only turnover. It was just the 3rd of the season for Christian Chapman. He was picked off on a bobbling catch from Frank Genda, the Spartan linebacker, and the Spartans got it at the 25-yard line of San Diego State. However, they could not get into the end zone after Justin Holmes struggled to hang on to the play, and San Jose State was forced to settle for a 27-yard field goal, so it was 21-3 at halftime, San Diego State. In the second half, it was more of the same for the Aztecs, who get a 23-yard touchdown run from Pumphrey again in the third quarter. That was followed by the game's biggest play from scrimmage, a 73-yard score from Rashad Penny, and the Aztecs coupled that with allowing just 67 yards of offense on the ground from San Jose State and overall 209 yards of total offense from the Spartans. And San Jose State went on to lose 42-3, the final score at San Diego State. Spartans fall to 2-6 overall this year. Kenny Potter, he was 13 of 29 for 104 yards in the air, while Trey Hartley led the Spartans with 46 yards receiving. Meanwhile, the Aztecs, they got 135 on the ground from Pumphrey and 2 scores, along with Rashad Penny getting 105 and 3 touchdowns in the game. San Diego State, they extend their conference winning streak to 14 games with a 42-3 win over San Jose State. On to this week's Lexus drive of the game, and it started with an interception from Frank Genda, who picks off Chapman for just the 3rd time this season, juggling his way on the return to the 25-yard line of San Diego State. From there, the Spartans tried to pound the ball with Malik Roberson, but he's bottled up for a 2-yard gain to the 23. Right back to Roberson in some space with a great cutback left as he scrambles for a 10-yard pickup and a first down to the 13. Spartans have struggled from the red zone all too often, and again, in this case as well. Roberson starts off with a 4-yard gain. Then a shot to the end zone on 3rd down. Potter goes to Holmes, but he can't hang on to it going to the turf. It is ruled incomplete, forcing a Bryce Crawford try from 26 yards out. It is good, and it made it a 21-3 game. The Spartans' only score of the night. Overall, the drive lasted 6 plays, going 16 yards in 1 minute and 55 seconds. The drive of the game is brought to you by your Northern California Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. On to this week's San Jose Police Department homegrown Spartan. We give some love to Michael Carrizosa, the junior punter. Punted 7 times for 310 total yards, 44.3 on average, and a log of 56. For his efforts this week, he is San Jose's Police Department homegrown Spartan. We'll take our first break here on Spartan Sports Report. When we return, we'll preview the upcoming season for the women's basketball team. That's to come next. Spartans senior quarterback Kenny Potter isn't afraid to take risks or sacrifice his body for the score. Determination is how to build an empire. Join San Jose State Saturday, October 29th against UNLV with a deal too good to pass up on. 4 reserved tickets with food vouchers, 2 Spartan Legend bobbleheads, and a game-worn jersey for just $70. Get your tickets by calling 408-924-7589 or sjsuspartans.com.
We started with the class-leading RX. We gave it paddle shifters to help you command the road. A sport mode to help you control the road. add a sport-tuned suspension to help you connect with the road. The Lexus RX F-Sport. This is the RX Elevated. See your Northern California Lexus dealer.
Welcome back here on Spartan Sports Report. We're now inside the Event Center Walt McPherson Court for our 2016 women's basketball season preview, joined by San Jose State head coach Jamie Craighead and senior point guard Des Ramos. And Coach, we'll start with you. First and foremost, let's briefly talk about last year, which was a good jump for this team, 11-7 in the conference, 4th overall, and I thought a nice jump for this team. Just your thoughts about last year very briefly.
You know, it seems so long ago, but I thought it was a tremendous step for our program in that 3rd season, finishing 4th and getting a bye. But we feel like there's still something left to prove. You know, we're not a Colorado State, a Fresno State, a Boise State that's had continued tradition and success, and that's really what we're looking to build. So we're really excited about this year. We took a climb up the mountain about halfway and got to get to the top.
And for you, Des, Mountain West Newcomer of the Year last year, what did you feel like was the biggest growth for you as a player last season?
I thought I came into this program with the system well, running, and thought we did a lot of big things last year. We didn't have the outcome we wanted, losing in the first round for Mountain West, but we know that what we need to do, and our goal is still the same.
All right, now coming to this year, Coach, it seems like the theme for San Jose State women's basketball is a tough non-conference schedule, and here we have another tough non-conference schedule this season. Is that by design for this team to get you guys ready for the conference year?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we can't predict that all of those teams are going to go to the postseason, but many of them have great tradition and history in their program, and some of them were returning games, and some of them were new additions to our schedule. But I think we obviously learned that if we're ready for Mountain West, we can compete, and that's the intention. I've done that for a number of years as a head coach of different program. We just want to play a tough schedule so our kids are ready, and we think that's how they'll get prepared, and I'm hoping that it pays dividends, and who knows, we have a chance to go play some really big teams and some really big venues, and we're really excited about that.
Sure, and then looking at the starting roster for this team, I know you have to replace 2 starters in Nairi Harris and Ellie Stevens, a point guard that played defense, and then that trail post, which is so important in your style of offense. Do you know who's going to fill those roles at this point?
You know, right now we have a trio of players that are getting reps and time. A senior who I thought Paris Baird came on for us last year tremendously well towards the end of our conference play. She had big games against Colorado State, big games against Utah State. I know that she's looking for a bigger role, and as a senior, we look to her for leadership in that position. We had a red shirt that sat out last year that was brought here to play that position, and we're pretty comfortable with her skill set and that we recruited her before. And then we've moved Andrea Kohlhaas to that position with the addition of a shooting guard, a true shooting guard, and Rachel West at the 2 spot. We felt like Dre might be better served this season at that trail guard position. And then obviously I kind of just answered the question about the 2 guard. Rachel and Annalise Benally, a freshman, they both will have an opportunity to play big minutes in that position. And I think even with having a true backup point guard now, we can move Des over to the scoring guard in times. Des is a tremendous scorer, and I think sometimes when you bring the ball up the court, that can make it difficult to have those dead ball, you know, where you have a chance to take somebody off a ball screen without bringing it up the court. So I'm really excited about our weapons and the ability to kind of spread things out and have more depth, I think, in that trail guard position.
Well, she just mentioned it. You're a tremendous scorer, Des. What did you work on in the offseason? I know you can really fill it up, but what is working on in the offseason transitioning to this year for you?
This offseason, I really try to prepare myself mentally and running and conditioning, and I feel like I had to get in a lot better shape than I was last year. I've also watched a lot of game film last year to see what I need to improve on, and I mean, comes with consistency in my shot and ball handles, but at the same time, you realize that I need to play both ends of the court and be a bigger help on the defensive side.
Coach, I know you mentioned some of the newcomers. There's 7 of them this year for San Jose State, and I know you briefly touched on some of them, but Spartan fans are going to get to know a lot of new faces on this team. Can you just talk about them?
Yeah, we're a little bit old and a lot bit young. So with the 7 kids, one of them is a transfer who played 2 years of, you know, 4-year experience. So I think that she brings something that helps us. She's played obviously at a 4-year institution and started and played a lot of minutes. So I don't really count her as one of those newcomers, but new to us and new to fans. We have 5 freshmen. One of them is Anna Thomasdottir, who she's going to actually sit out in redshirt this year. 6-foot trail guard as well. Played with the Sweden national team. Is very mature for her age. We're really excited about her future. Was coming off an ACL injury that we felt she might need a little bit more time to recover. So we felt like we had a lot of depth in that position, and it would be kind of a waste to use her talents this year. And then we have a lot of freshman faces: a point guard, a shooting guard, a wing, inside post player. Alexis Harris, who's 6'3", long wingspan. She'll be a great addition for us. She's better on the defensive end right now than she is the offensive end, but that's something we need: a shot blocker and somebody that can get after it on the defensive end. And we've got a shooter in Annalise Benally, really fast trigger. I mean, she can shoot it, she can let it fly, and I don't think she really has a conscience. She'll just keep shooting. And then Maya Hafoka is playing sort of a backup role to Majanique, and she's probably the biggest surprise for me. She came in ready to go. She's in shape. She's really strong. She's lifting with Jasmine Smith in terms of the weights that she's pulling around in the weight room. And she just goes about her business. She just comes, she works hard, and we're really excited about what she could do this year. And then obviously Taylor's Dez's backup, and I think our future is really bright with her. She's a true point guard, though. Dez provides us with a scoring punch that Taylor at this point doesn't have in her game, but she can score. She's much more a distributor. We're anxiously waiting and asking for her to be a scoring threat. I think that's what we need in our system, but great attitude, can push the ball. So I think we're in a good place. They have to learn what it's like to play at this level, and that won't come until games start, but our veterans are competing against them every day, and if we go hard, then I think they'll be ready. Well,
talking about the veterans, do you feel now, Des, that you have to take more of a leadership role for this team with all the young players and you being the senior and the scorer?
Yeah, definitely. I don't think my role so much has changed that much from last year, because I knew what I had to do. But as far as this year, I think a lot more of me being a leader vocally wise for the younger ones coming in is a big part, and same for the returners as well.
Now, this being your 4th season, is this where you envision the program in year 4? And if not, what do you want to see out of this program through the course of this season?
I think when we got a chance to take a look at where we were at, it's been a good off season for us to kind of say, okay, this is year 3 going into year 4. Where are we at? I think in terms of the players' buy-in is where I actually look at that, and I think that we're more bought in than we've been. There's players that have been recruited to the system. There's people who've been in it for 3-4 years, and that's important. And then I try and focus on year to year. This team isn't last year's team or the year before. They have great potential. I think that culturally we're in a better place. They understand that we're going to hold ourselves to a really high standard, and they're going to be asked to meet that standard on the court and off. But year to year, it's a new team, and we're just excited. I mean, this is our first week into practice. It's just good to have them more than 2 hours a week. It's kind of hard to tell where we're going to go, but I believe if we get total buy-in and everybody is just all in and working hard, we have a really great chance to be something special.
All right, that's the head coach here at San Jose State, Jamie Craighead, and senior point guard Des Ramos. Thanks so much, and good luck on the season, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll take another break here on Spartan Sports Report. More to come after this.
The 2016 Nissan Altima. An IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus. With forward emergency braking that could stop for you. Get to your local Nissan store today. Take on sudden stops. Get to Nissan, proud partner of the San Jose State Spartans.
My name is Officer Tim Jackson with the San Jose Police Department. I've been with the department 24 years now. I was at San Jose State from 1986 through 1989. Played there 3 seasons. We had a lot of success there. We went to 2 bowl games. Athletics is a big part of my life. It teaches you how to work together. It teaches you to be team-oriented as well as goal-oriented, which is very similar to the job here in the police department. If you want to give back to the community that you live in, this is an awesome way to do it.
Welcome back here on Spartan Sports Report. We're now joined by San Jose State head coach Ron Carragher. And Coach, when we look at the San Diego State game, boy, we talked about their defense just being so challenging. And when you look back at that game, their blitzes were coming from everywhere. They're just so difficult to read, and it really poses a challenge to the offense. And I think we'll start there. What was the biggest challenge, and how did the Spartans get beat with that defense?
Yeah, I think matching up targeting is the first thing from a run game standpoint and a pass protection standpoint. And while I thought at times we did match up and target good, and we just didn't hit the crease that was available, maybe say on an inside zone run play, a couple times we had a chance, maybe if we wound it back a gap or two to make a plus 10-yard run, which we needed those, and we didn't. We missed those opportunities when they came, or they were few and far between, Justin, but when they came, we missed them. And we just have to be better at creating some opportunities for the quarterback to have a little bit more time, or to be able to execute, so we can move the chains, so we can have sustained and drives that put points on the board.
Well, and when you look at what the defense was doing, what type of adjustments did you guys try to make during the game just to combat what was going on?
Yeah, what early on, when you get the sense you just don't have the time to make down the field throws, you have to be able to get the ball off quick, because you do have to throw the football. You'd like to be able to run, get +4 runs, but you have to be able to throw the ball. So sometimes you get to 3-step type throws, but then you're not pushing the ball down the field. So there's always a way off on what you do. And I just felt like we did reduce the number of drop back passes that take time. Now sometimes they did still take long and resulted in a scramble and so forth, but you don't want the tackles for losses, you don't want the sacks, and unfortunately we ended up having those things that we didn't want in the beginning.
And that also has to go along with not being able to really establish the run game too, and that's a theme for any team against San Diego State. I think it was 98 yards per game coming into the game against them on the ground. What was it about the run game to try? You know, we talked about Malik Roberson's, and more Ziegler was back. There really wasn't any consistency and no real traction in the run game.
No, correct. And like I said, I think some of those early opportunities of run game, we had some chances, and we didn't find the gap that was there, because no defense is perfect and formidable. I mean, where every strength there is, there's always a weakness as well, and we have to do a better job of exploiting that weakness and finding it, and we just weren't able to gain any traction early on, and then you get behind, and it takes on a whole new life of its own.
Well, and then looking at them offensively, I know we talk so much about Donnell Pumphrey, but in that first drive, and really in the first half, they were using him as a decoy with all the play actions and getting other people involved. I thought that was really clever, and maybe something that the Spartans were caught a little off guard by.
Well, I think that you have to be able to hang your hat on something defensively, and their nucleus of their attack is the power run game, and with Pumphrey running it, and so we did make concerted efforts to stop that. And now, along with that effort, you have to be able to quickly react to the pass if there's a pass off of a run action, and so. Sometimes, as you mentioned, we did over-pursue maybe the run, and that 2 extra steps pursuing the run leaves that receiver on a misdirection pass two more steps open from the defender. And they took advantage of that with a full flow action, one way, the quarterback boot, and you got a tight end crossing who's open. And they took advantage of that, and that's good. That was smart of their part. And we have to do a better job of continuing to stop the run, but be able to defend the pass as well.
The other thing about, too, that helped their offense, the Spartans are one of the best teams in the country at not having penalties against them, not having penalty yards against them. And in this game, for whatever reason, maybe it was frustration at times, the Spartans did make some mistakes in terms of penalties to help out San Diego State.
Yeah, this was really an outlier if you look at our season with penalties that went on. And I don't want to hold the guys back. The aggressive penalties, they're aggressive penalties. And we don't teach targeting. We don't want guys to do that. But really, in fairness to Trey Bieria, his job is to break up the pass. And it's a split-second reaction. The ball's thrown, it's off the receiver's hand, and the defender hits him. Now, does he have time to slow down and adjust and go in lower? No, not in the real world. You don't. That's in the world of replay and pause button. And so I don't want to. I want to coach them up on proper way to targeting, which we do. But sometimes those hits do happen, and we got penalized twice. Fortunately, one got called back, the Maurice McKnight one. But unfortunately, we lost a good player, Trey Bieria. He's from Southern California, and we lost him for the rest of the evening.
All right. Well, we'll take a quick break here with Coach Carriger. We'll talk UNLV when we come back on Spartan Sports Report.
Honoring all-around excellence in men's and women's collegiate competition. Every division, every sport. the Learfield Directors Cup. The prestigious award continues its reign as the crowning achievement in college athletics. To follow your favorite team, like us on Facebook, find us online and on Twitter. The Learfield Directors Cup.
We started with the class-leading RX. We gave it paddle shifters to help you command the road. A sport mode to help you control the road. And a sport-tuned suspension to help you connect with the road. The Lexus RX F-Sport. This is the RX Elevated. See your Northern California Lexus dealer.
Welcome back here on Spartan Sports Report. We're continuing to talk with San Jose State head coach Ron Carragher. We get ready for UNLV this week, Coach, and one thing you really brought up that was apparent about this UNLV team is how you were impressed by their quarterback. And I know they've had a couple of quarterbacks this year seem to settle on Dalton Snead this season.
Yeah, he's done a great job. He is a very good athlete. Can run the football very fast, very athletic, makes people miss in the open field. And so we have to do a good job of containing him on the design quarterback draws, the design zone read type plays, but be able to contain him so he doesn't make the big play on us.
Yeah, how are they using him as a rusher? Because ever since he's been in there, he's been running the ball with some effectiveness. I think he's the third best rusher on the team right now.
Correct. Yeah, some by design, some not necessarily by design. The zone reads, he can pull it and keep the ball on a run. The design quarterback draws, another way to put the ball in his hands. But sometimes the passes break down, and that's when he makes I think he had an incredible run against Fresno State a few weeks back. What a 100-yard run, basically. He circled back in the end zone. At one point, what was a safety? I've never seen a play like it. Could have been a safety.
He stumbled and almost
within grasp, and him stumbling to running for a touchdown. And so that we have to be able to contain those and keep him intact.
Yeah, it was the longest play from scrimmage in school history. I think it was 91 yards, but he did go back into the end zone.
He probably ran 200 yards
in the
course of it. Yeah, no, very impressive play. So he's a great athlete. We have to keep him in check.
And that seems, we talked before the season started about maybe the depth of their wide receiving core, but I think the season has evolved into them being more of a running team just with what they have.
I would agree, yeah. Going into the season, Boyd, outstanding player, former Mountain West, I think, freshman of the year a couple years back, but really one of the top receivers in the conference. Now he's got his catches. I think 30 catches, 4 touchdowns. But you're right; they're kind of gravitated more toward the run game and the quarterback run game.
Well, and then looking at Devontae Boyd, there's not much behind him. What do they have in terms of the weapons that they can use, or is it just as simple as trying to limit the run game and you'll really have more success against them?
Yeah, the tailbacks really. He had 600 yards rushing, 8 touchdowns. So he's a guy he's undersized. He's probably 5'10", but he's very quick, got good acceleration. He can run well. So they've got a couple weapons there. In addition to the quarterback. And so the passing game hasn't really been consistent from start to get through the season, but the run game has been very solid for them.
Under Coach Sanchez, the defense has been inconsistent for them so far. It seems like they're making some strides as well. A couple of players have been really good for them, but overall as a defense, what do you see from this team?
Yeah, and it's Coach Kent Bear, who was here at San Jose State. They are attacking, aggressive, and they'll make you pay if you aren't on your game and protect your quarterback in a good way. One of their linebackers has got 11 tackles for losses, which is really stands out. One of the leading tacklers in the Mountain West. So we have to do a good job on him of targeting in properly so he doesn't come free and create problems in our backfield.
All right, Spartans at home against UNLV this Saturday. That's San Jose State head coach Ron Carragher. Thanks, Coach.
You're welcome. Thank you.
More to come here on Spartan Sports Report after this.
The 2016 Nissan Altima. An IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus. With forward emergency braking that could stop for you. Get to your local Nissan store today. Take on sudden stops. Get to Nissan, proud partner of the San Jose State Spartans.
My My name is Officer Tim Jackson with the San Jose Police Department. I've been with the department 24 years now. I was at San Jose State from 1986 through 1989. Played there 3 seasons. We had a lot of success there. We went to 2 bowl games. Athletics is a big part of my life. It teaches you how to work together. It teaches you to be team-oriented as well as goal-oriented, which is very similar to the job here in the police department. If you want to give back to the community that you live in, this is an awesome way to do it.
Welcome back here on Spartan Sports Report. That does it for this week's episode. Once again, San Jose State football at home this week inside CEFCU Stadium. 7:30 kickoff this Saturday against UNLV. The pregame show on 1590 AM KLIV and the Spartan Radio Network will start at 7 o'clock. If you need tickets, there's a great opportunity this week. 4 tickets, 4 food vouchers, 2 legend bobbleheads, and a game-worn jersey, all for just $70. All the information on sjsuspartans.com or call 408-924-7589. Thanks for watching this week, and we'll see you next time.